Hey guys, welcome to another YouTube video. Today, we're going to be ranking all the 21 Pilots albums. If you're wondering why I'm not staring directly into the camera, that's because I have my phone sideways, so that way I can more accurately capture my face in the screen. So what's happening today is this. I'm going to be ranking all the 21 Pilots albums. I just said that. I know, but I'm pretending to have high energy even though I want to go cry myself to sleep. So deal with it. Just deal with it, please. Okay. Now, anyways, though, I'm going to be ranking all the 21 Pilots albums. This includes no pun intended, because it was with one of the original bandmates. It was made with them. So, I'll count it. I'll count it. And no one can tell me otherwise. Okay? Okay. So, anyway, let's get into this. There are 6 albums in total, I believe. In my mind, I remember 6. It's 6. Okay, let's start this. So, for number 6, we're going to have Regional at Best, because, they had 2 good albums before that, including no pun intended, again, but here's the thing though, Regional at Best is just trash. They have just 2 good songs on it, which would be Ruby and Clear, kind of. Oh, Slowtown's actually really good on there too, but most of the tracks have really bad auto-tune and just sound like they were made in a basement. Speaking of which, they were made in a basement. It's decent for being made in a basement, but it's not that good. Don't make albums in basements, people. It's a big mistake. So, at number 5, we have Blurryface. Blurryface is basically Regional at Best if they had better production. That's it. That's all that's good about it. The first 2 tracks are good. Basically, here's what this album is. Okay? Here's what the album is. I'm going to be brutally honest. In my opinion, it's just a pop album, so that way they could get famous. That's all it is. That's all it is. There's nothing special about it. It's just a straight-up pop album. Nothing else. It's not even that decent. It's not even half decent. It's really bad. I don't know how they could make an album this bad after making one of their best albums. So, it's just really disappointing to me how bad Blurryface turned out. Heavy Dirty Soul, really good track. Ride is just a classic pop tune, but once you hear it for the 250 billionth time, it starts to get a little annoying, and it makes you want to rip your own fucking eardrums out. We also have Stressed Out, which is the most mediocre song on the album overall. The only real good track on this album would be Goner. Goner is a great way to end the album. Yes, sad piano stupidity. That is what it is. It is sad piano stupidity. It is. Tyler just probably sat down and he's like, okay, Josh, it's time. It is time to make the greatest outro song of all time. Then he pressed a couple of keys and he's like, this sounds depressing. Let's go with it. It sounds extremely sad, and it'll make everyone cry after they finish our garbage album. Then, the song just decides to be a douchebag and stop, makes you think it's over, and then Tyler starts screaming, don't let me play! And, it's very... that wasn't made for publicity. That's what was wrong with Blurryface, essentially, is that it was just made for money and fans. They wanted extra fans, so they made a pop record, and guess what? It worked. 1 in a billion chance. Good for them. But before that, they made a really great record, Vessel. Vessel is an amazing album. I'd recommend you go listen to it right now. It is a great indie pop record if you're into indie pop. I am not, but you can still find areas to appreciate it. I enjoyed a lot of the lyrical content on this album, and I enjoyed the opener. The opener was great, and the outro is Truce. I'm not going to count the redone versions of the songs on Regional at Best, the ones that were added, For the bad songs on this album, I'd have to say it's Car Radio and House of Gold. Car Radio is just pressing one key on a piano and then lightly hitting a drum over and over again. Very repetitive. It's I ponder something great. My lungs will fill and then deflate. They fill with fire, exhale desire. I know it's dire, my time today. I have these thoughts, so often I ought to replace that slot with what I once bought, 'cause somebody stole my car radio, and now I just sit in silence. I mean, honestly, it's basically being delivered like that the entire song until they eventually decide to switch it up at the end and go, whoa, whoa, whoa. And then they called that a song. Oh, yeah, and we can't forget him screaming, and now I just sit! Like, it's not that good. Though, it does improve from the Regional at Best version, and I didn't even want to talk about Regional at Best that much. I was trying to skip over that because it was that bad. But I have to mention, all the songs on here that were redone and put onto this album sound better. For example, Car Radio now has bass. Or wait, no, they got rid of the bass. They just fixed Tyler's spoken word poem. But all the other songs are great. I'd really recommend you listen to Ode to Sleep, Screen, Fake You Out, and Truce. Truce is once again sad piano, sad song, outro song, and, just pressing piano keys and sobbing silently to yourself. That's all the song is. I'm just trying to be as honest as possible with how I feel about that song. But it's a good song. It's a great outro, and it wasn't put on an album that was just made for publicity. So, it's good. It's really good. It feels like they actually tried to make art and not just shit. Number 3. No pun intended. This album was made in a basement, or a garage. I can't remember where it was made. But it's decent. This was made when Tyler was going through a lot of shit mentally. So you can actually feel a lot of the emotion from what he was trying to write, and then the way it ended up in songs. You can actually feel it, even in the worst songs on the album, I think. It doesn't matter. The point is, good album, bad production. Anyway, though, this album is really good, and, the first half of the album is really good. Then it kind of drops off, but you can still find enjoyment in the second half of the album. And then the final song, which is Hear Me Now, I believe that's what it called. I could have completely forgotten the name of the album, but I know it's probably Hear Me Now. Most of the songs are decent on here. I don't have any complaints. They're not bad, for the most part. It's pretty good. That's all I have to say. So for the number 2 spot, I'm going to have to put Trench. Trench is a really good album, for the most part. It seems like they were actually, they changed it up a lot from Blurry Face, and they actually tried again. One of the best songs on here would have to be Neon Gravestones, where basically it's just singing about how everyone gets popular after they commit suicide. Yeah. Anyway, this album is overall really good, really solid. Leave the City is a great outro song. Jumpsuit is a great opener. And the transition to Levitate is almost perfect. It's almost perfect. Actually, it is perfect. Why am I lying? The one song on here I do not like is Smithereens. Actually, I'll make it 2. There was another song I don't like, and my brain decided to just erase it from my memory. Alright, well, let's just forget about Trench. Trench is number 2. Number 1 is 21 Pilots, their self-titled album. Great album. 2 songs I don't particularly like. The Pantaloon is just garbage. Aircatcher, they had really bad auto-tune for the chorus, and I can't stand it. I just can't stand it. It's annoying. But luckily they had fucking hell an acoustic version where it's not that bad. It's much more of a tolerable song. Oh my god. Yeah. Good album overall. I don't know. So the first track on the album is Implicit Demand for Proof. It's a great song. Fits well on the album. It has about just a minute long intro to it of just sad piano. And then Tyler starts singing and he sounds like a something that sings just poorly. I know you're not a liar, and I know that's how he sounds. But then when it gets to the chorus where he just says "rain down and destroy me," it's very soft and it's very drawn out, but it works in the song's favor and honestly makes the song 10 times more beautiful than it would be without that. Trapdoor, it's a very good song. That's all I have to say about it. It's really well written. It's really well done. Friend Please, specifically, is probably the saddest song on here, where it's basically a friend telling their depressed friend that they don't want them to leave, and they don't want them to die, and they don't want them to kill themselves. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing with my life. Please end my suffering. Thanks everyone for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Goodbye.